Hello, everybody. This is Rob Barnhart, your host of Perfect Game Central. We are breaking this box of 2010 Topps Factory Set, the exclusive Phillies edition. I bought this edition, quite frankly, because the the regular edition was like $130, and this was only $70. Unfortunately, I found the same set on Facebook for far less. So lesson to all you people out there is, before you buy, look around, because that's $10 is $10. So the big rookie of this year is advertised on the box itself. Steven Strasburg, rookie card. Now, I know he's gotten hurt. Man, he's been a really good player for a while. And then there's a Buster Posey rookie card. Adam Moore, Michael Dunn, Toby Stoner, Drew Stubbs, Kyle Phillips, Luis Durango, Cesar Ramos, Madison Bumgarner, Reed Gurecki, Dustin Richardson, Wade Davis, John Butler, Brad Kirby, Neil Walker, Ian Desmond, Josh Stoll, Chris Pettit, Daniel McCutcheon, Daniel Hudson, Matt Carson, Michael Brantley, Tommy Mazzalia, Juan Francisco, Henry Rodriguez, Tyler Flowers, Tyler Colvin, Brandon Allen, Jason Hayward, James Russell, Mike Leake, Ishmael Rogers, Chris Johnson, Jenry Mahia, Ruben Tejada, David Hendon, John Rayner, Dan Runsler, Alan Craig, Jesse English, Tyson Ross, Alex Burnett, Mike McCoy, Sergio Santos, Austin Jackson, Scott Sizemore, Dusty Hughes, and Steven Strasburg, just to name a few. So there's a few rookies in here of players that would go on to have success, but a lot of rookies that probably doesn't ring too many bells for people out there. Let's take a look. Usually these are pretty easy to open. Here we go. There goes the plastic. So it's been opened. So from what I've seen online, I don't see much evidence that these factory sets could be sold for less if they're open. I think it relies on how much you trust a person. that they're selling you the factory set. And it could still go for the same amount if it's opened. So these would be the extra cards that are not included with the factory set. They're going to all be Phillies. The regular set is mixed teams, veterans. There must be some pretty decent hits because, like I said, I mean, for it to go from 70 to about 130, that's a pretty big difference. Start in the middle here. So this is what 2010 looks like. You have the Topps logo up in this corner. I wonder if it always stays in that corner or not. If it's a rookie card, you get the small RC, which we all recognize by now. The name down here, a white border. The team across the bottom, and a little bit of the team color, green, here on the side. Looks very different than some of the other years of Topps. Usually Topps has, if you see from the 2021, most of my life, Topps has always had pictures that are kind of further away, less busy, presentation, and a border of some kind, usually. But in this set, looks like the pictures are going to be a little bit more zoomed in when the person took them. And just a little bit busy on the side. Take a look at what the back of a card is going to look like. Of course, he's not going to have stats because he's a rookie. Might have one season. Sometimes what they'll do is they'll call the person up previous year and they'll include those, but they didn't get enough at bats to technically be more than a rookie, so that'll probably change, but there you go. And this was the era, at least here in Pennsylvania, of one of the best Philly teams in a long time. The Utley, Howard, and others team that really did well for a long, long time. Should be a Hall of Famer. So should Ryan Howard, at least from this team. They had a lot of success together. See man, that's a large font for the St. Louis Cardinals, man. Takes up a lot of space. Pretty busy. There's the Rays. They go with the light blue instead of like a darker blue. Pat Worrell, wow. I haven't heard that name in forever. See, Tim Lincecum. You see, again, oh, look, there's something else I did notice down here in the very, very corner is the position stamped. Definitely more zoomed in than top sets previous years that I've seen. Definitely. Kind of in some ways reminds me of 2020. I took a look at my year of 2020. It kind of reminds me of it a little bit. And I remember that uniform for the Astros. I thought the red and black like that looked sharp. Hit like a vein of rookie cards here. Some of these I listed off, and some of them I didn't. I don't know, or maybe I just forgot I talked to. But it seems like some of them are not AL Rookie of the Year. Andrew Bailey. I don't even remember him. I gotta be honest, guys. 2010. By the time we get around to 2010, I am not as into baseball as some of the other sets that we would open. So I probably would not know as many players as, say, if we opened 94, 95, basically anything in the 90s. Interesting. Now, why? Oh, that's right. This was the era the Padres were experimenting with that blue color. Man, that'd be confusing for me because I'm so used to looking for like an orange or like a brown color. I would not do well. Here's Zach Greinke. He coming off a Cy Young award. I love that it just says D-backs instead of Diamondbacks. There's Pujols. Interesting. A light blue color for the Braves. I would have went with red. Here you see coming off a World Series win for the Angels. Jake Peavy was a beast at this time. Well, he was well past his Cy Young win at that point, so he wasn't quite the same player. Twins going with the blue. Then you see the team stamp on the back. Card number up here. And starting to see OPS listed. Let me tell you, the further back you go, you will not see that number. It was not considered to be a stat that was important at the time. So you get, looks like included in the set is like a team photo, Giants here. And it says franchise history. I would guess if you flip it over, it's going to have information about the team. Sure enough, that's what it is. It's all-time leaders in stats, active leaders in stats, And then the leader of the stats the year prior, which is 2009. Basically, all it is just to put in front. Like if you were going to organize these into teams, Wade Davis, Tim Hudson, still with the Braves. You can see, even though it's factory sealed, it's got a slight bend to the cards. See, I mean, I'm from Pittsburgh, and I don't remember him, like, at all. So that tells you. I'll bet at this time I listened to podcasts or whatever, but I was not watching. Wow. See, that just blows my mind right there. I didn't even remember that John Smoltz eventually went to a different team. Crazy. Shane Victorino, I remember him. Edwin Jackson. See, I remember some names. James Shields or I'm Kennedy. It's just some of the people are getting fuzzy. Ivan Rodriguez is still playing. Jeez. Rangers for like ever. Marlins, the Tigers, Yankees, Astros, and then back to the Rangers. This has got to be getting towards the end of his career. I'm honestly shocked that he was still playing in 2010. Colorado Rockies, it's the first time we've seen them. Jose Guillen. He started out with the Pirates. It was still playing in 2010. So I showed you 97 score. His rookie card was in there. And over your career all the way into 09, he only has 195 home runs and a 271 batting average, which isn't too bad, but you can tell a really good player will have about 300 home runs or more. And the Hall of Fame level players usually have about 4. There's Michael Brantley. It's weird to see him as a rookie and a young man, considering that he's still playing to this day and is considered to be an old man. Had a cool set. Nice cards. Kind of fun to see, like, for me, even though I wasn't watching as much at this time. Oh, I remember Adam Jones. He started quite the controversy about revealing that Boston fans were saying supposedly racist things to him. That was his claim. He's one of the people that kind of got the whole idea that Boston is a racist sports town kind of going. Wow. Yeah, like I said, like a lot of these players just don't ring a bell. Adrian Beltre, I do, but I remember him prior to this point. Max Scherzer, hey. Before he went to the Nationals. Kevin Youkilis. Josh Hamilton, man. He unfortunately passed away pretty young. But yeah, like, it's funny, I just don't remember stuff from this era. Like Bobby Abreu, I remember him with the Astros. I do not remember him going on to play for the Angels. So I obviously was not watching as much or paying attention nearly as close as I was when I was a kid. Omar Vizquel with the Rangers. Don't remember that. Jonathan Papelbon. Yeah, there's some players I remember. Jason Kendall with the Brewers. I don't remember that. But yeah, that's the set. Pretty cool set. Very different than most average years of Topps. It kind of went with a busier look than usual. Definitely of the era where they start identifying the rookie cards in a more clear fashion. When we go back and look at some of like the early '90s, late '80s, you'll notice that a lot of the rookies do not have that kind of identifier that basically ends the debate. Just that picture's outside the new stadium of in Pittsburgh. If you've never been there, it's a pretty field. You can look downtown Pittsburgh, see all the buildings. It's pretty cool. You can find parking pretty easy too. CC Sabathia, and I really did kind of lose touch with baseball here. Things happen, you know. It's tough to in the modern era. Look, Jim Thome and the Dodgers. I don't remember that. Andrew McCutchen, one of the best players for the Pittsburgh Pirates since Barry Bonds. Managed to win an MVP in Pittsburgh. Do you know how hard that is to do? You have to play very well on a small with very little carryover into like the mainstream. You really have to put up numbers. Well, that's what 2010 looks like. And yeah, the set is a set that's not going to have a whole lot of sentimental value for me because I really wasn't watching at the time. But, you know, now that I'm collecting and stuff like that, it's a set that came out while I was alive, and it gives me an opportunity to kind of go back and get familiar with the era and, you know, recognize some of the players from earlier sets that I did well while I was paying attention. A chance to collect some rookies that would eventually go on to be very important players for the next decade in Major League Baseball. Like I said, out of this set, you know, rookies you really want: Strasburg, Jason Hayward, Michael Brantley, Madison Bumgarner, and Buster Posey. Those are the cards you want. With Madison Bumgarner and Buster Posey being their rookie cards, you can see that the Giants' run is just about to begin. Once they have a little experience, they go on that weird streak where they win every odd year of World Series for a little bit. Have quite a success. So that's 2010 Topps factory set. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the rest of the set. Not on camera, but through the rest of the set. Maybe do like a smaller video with just rookie cards so that people can take a look at them. Next set will be the 2011 set right down here. After that, 12. So I can open them on camera. And then we'll start doing other sets. In the meantime, we'll also do breaks as well here and there. And that's kind of the show, man. Most of the show is opening a set, talking a little bit about baseball, talking about some of the things that I know people who are in this hobby care about, which is rookie cards and inserts. Talking a little bit about baseball itself. Kind of a mixture between talking baseball and talking cards. Just that sets like these, where I wasn't watching as much, I'm not going to be able to talk as much about what was going on at the time, because my memory's probably a little vague. Obviously, certain players will jump out to my mind, like Ryan Howard or whatever, because, I mean, even back then, ESPN was still being watched. So you could kind of get a sense of who the big players were a little bit easier than you can now. I mean, you kind of really have to pay attention to baseball-only sources to know who the players of today in this era are. There really isn't as much Sports Center focus. There's just not as many sources that are not just focused on baseball, where you can get exposed to who the good players are at the time. And that was still true in 2010, but that was starting to go away. Probably the height of Sports Center was like the late 90s, early 2000s. But so just from watching that kind of stuff through osmosis, I kind of remember some players, but not as well, because I wasn't watching like I was when I was a kid. I would literally watch a lot of games when I was a kid. So hopefully we'll pick after we open those other two sets. I'll pick a couple years that have a lot more sentimental value to me. That way, we can have a little bit more of a discussion. Gotta watch the time though, because I know people have short attention spans on YouTube. Anyways, this is Perfect Game Central. We're looking forward to eventually buying sets, selling sets, breaking sets, things like that. We got to slowly build up to it, though. But for right now, just enjoying talking baseball and opening some cards and showing off my personal collection. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please subscribe and comment about sets you might want to see, or share some of your memories of baseball when you were a big fan, whether that be now or in the past. Thank you so much. Take care.